Everybody, Matt with Occidental Nomad here. For those that don't already know, I'm back on the road for a while. I finished the cabin build and had to come over to the other side of the state to help my parents. Mom had to move into a memory care facility, so got her in there, got Dad moved out of the place he was in. He's actually kind of living on the road himself right now. So I thought today, it's Saturday, off work. Today might be a good day to give you a little tour of my converted cargo trailer. So I bought this back in like 2021, I think. Might have been 2022, but I think it was 2021. And I've been living kind of half-time in it since when I was working in Coos Bay. And now I'm in it full-time. I don't want to pay for rent or anything over here. I'm probably going to be on this side of the state for a year, maybe two. We'll see. Initially, my plan was to go back to the cabin this spring or summer, but yeah, the initial plan was to just get the bills paid off and go back over there. But I think I'm going to spend some more time here. I like the job I got, and it's going to let me save up quite a bit more money. So I'm going to refill my savings. So everything with the cabin, the land, it's all paid off. But it'd be nice to have a good chunk of savings and no debt again. So yeah, so here's the trailer. It's a 2021 Patriot 6x10. These are sold by Trailers Plus here in the Northwest. I think I paid, I don't know, $4,300. It might have been $4,500 all in. So pretty good deal. I like these way better than, like trailers like that. Yeah, it's fancier, but way too expensive, and I don't trust the build quality on those things. They leak way too easy here in the Northwest where you get a lot of rain. So this has got a fairly solid roof. So yeah, so what have I done to this thing? First off, I put this toolbox. If you'll see, it's mounted backwards because I've got limited tongue space here. So that saves me about 3 to 4 inches where the lid would hinge back, and it gives me enough room up front to put my propane tanks. So I've got two 20-pound propane tanks. I was initially using those for heating. I've got a Mr. Buddy heater, but it was just generating too much moisture inside. It'll work in a pinch, but especially during the winter. We're on the high desert side of Oregon, which is normally fairly low humidity, but during the winter in the Northwest, it's up there anyway, so too much humidity. So yeah, I've got that up front. On the roof, my biggest improvement, see if I can show you. So I've got 3 200-watt solar panels and a single 100-watt panel. This here on the back is the single 100-watt. It's not connected in series or parallel with the other ones. It's a single coming through the wall here. I drilled a hole, put a plate on, and it's trickle charging a battery for a specific purpose inside. I'll show you that here in a few minutes. One of the first things I did on the trailer was my dad and I put this exhaust fan on. I think it's an AC Infinity brand on Amazon. I can try and link that below. Still pretty new to this YouTube video thing, but I'll try and get some links to some of these items in the video. It's an AC fan, puts out a lot on high. I've got a way to power that inside. It's great for exhausting when it's hot inside or when there's too much moisture inside. So nothing else going on the back. On the side, I added this platform. Just drilled some holes in the wall here, used self-tapping screws. This has got a tubular steel frame. So as long as you hit a tube, you can get self-tapping screws in there. I originally had these water jugs inside, just wasting way too much space on the floor. So got one here right now for ice, and then the other one is just for Buddy's water. Nice and easy to get to, just fill whatever you need off the side here. When it does get super cold, yeah, they do freeze, but it's all right. So got that on there, that board, sprayed some waterproofer on there. Yeah, it's working. Also used these door pulls for lash down points. They're the lowest profile thing I could get. I wanted to do this as cheap as possible. That whole thing cost me about $30 to put on there, so that's good. And then I use a ratchet strap to hold those jugs on there. You can see the solar panels a little bit better from this side. So those solar panels, I won't go inside just yet, come down right here and go through this other port I put in. This is the first one I added. Those three are in series, so 600 watts in series. Those all go to my Pecron E1500 LFP power station. So those charge that constantly. So back to the propane tanks for a second. You can see I had a propane hose on there. That hose was run underneath here and going through this port to feed my Mr. Buddy heater. But like I said, I'm not using that anymore, so it's kind of just stowed out of the way at the moment. I'm going to get some propane appliances like a griddle and some other stuff so I can do some cooking. The toolbox actually makes a really good table cooking surface, so I cook out here all the time. So the propane will be used exclusively for cooking and as an emergency backup for heat if necessary. So let's see here, what else we got? Another thing I did out here, you'll see this power box. Cut another hole through. So we got power here. It's caulked, so water can't get behind it. And then I'll show you what I did on the inside with that. What that does is if I'm running some type of thing out here, I've got like a rice cooker or a crock pot or a hot plate or whatever, I can have the power come from my power station back out through the wall, and then I can just plug in my AC stuff right there. So that worked. And then inside here, let's find Buddy. Where you at, Buddy? My bud. Oh, there he is. What are you doing? What you doing, bud nut? Yeah? You want to be on video? No? Nah, he doesn't care. Okay. So forewarning, it's a little cluttered in here. So, all right, here we go. So you'll notice on basically all the walls, this is like a no-build build. My bed platform I built out of 2x4s and stuff. But as far as storage on the walls, I was just walking through Walmart and I saw these under-shelf wire baskets. They're made to hang under a shelf. And I figured, those would be perfect for just screwing to the wall and using for storage. So there's a ton of these in here. And some of them are, you'll notice some of these are piggybacked. There's ones hanging on the front of the other ones. So there's a bunch of those baskets. Got even more on this side. So, come on, buddy. Come on out here. Come on, Bubba. Yeah, it's a good boy. Okay. All right. So, in here, might as well start with the door. So, I didn't want to put too much weight on the door. Got one of these MOLLE panels. It's just screwed to the door. This is fairly thin plywood. It's like, I don't know, might be 1/4 inch. Can't support a lot of weight, but I got that, and it's perfect for hanging, kitchen utensils and stuff like that on. And then I got some of these canvas wall shoe hangers to keep my shoes, from being all over the floor. That was a problem. That was all cluttered in there with that and the shoes and everything else. So I got some of those in there, so that's nice. I put these on so I can obviously latch when I'm inside so somebody can't pull the door open. So I had to mount that on there, and I mounted an interior door handle. So sitting inside here, I got my generator. So that's backup, my last backup for everything. Don't have to use it too often. The solar does most of everything. But I've got power cords and my 20-volt power tools, charging station, everything there. So that laundry basket is just kind of a catch-all for everything. There's like, brooms and windshield wipers and all kinds of stuff in there. My AC heater there for when I have AC power is there. Buddy's doggy biscuits. Underneath, I've got a folding table here that I screwed to the ground. That holds a microwave and my power station and then some storage boxes. Underneath is just milk crates. I need to declutter this area and organize those crates better. Those are food totes back there. That trash can's just got miscellaneous stuff in it. So, like I said, it's cluttered. Underneath the bed, I spaced the bed out, the gaps underneath the bed for the width of these milk crates. So you can actually fit 1, 2, and there's 2 more behind. So there's 4 there, 4 there. And this is a skinny one, so it's not the width of there, but the depth. So there's, I think, 2 more milk crates behind that, and that's Buddy's food and water dishes stuff. He just sits right in here. Of course, he's there licking himself. So for lighting, I got 2 things in here. I've got 2 strings of white LED Christmas lights, which are of course AC. And then on that wall, there's an LED 12-volt USB LED light strip. So both of those plug into this power station that I have hanging on the wall. I have to ignore all the cables, lots and lots of things charging. So I can do AC and 12 volt off of that. That's just a small 300 watt hour power station. But I put some hooks on the wall, that thing hangs. My main power station over here, like I said, the solar comes in through the wall, goes behind the table, comes in and plugs in here and powers the thing off the 600 watts of solar. And then I've got a few things here. This power cord goes over behind the microwave and plugs into this cable right here, and that cable is the one that goes out through the wall for those outside AC outlets. So that's plugged into AC there. The center plug is the microwave, and that far plug is actually going along the back of the bed here to a 12 volt battery charger, and I'll show you what that is here in a minute. So and then coming off the DC, I've got this cable is for charging my smaller power stations. So it's coming up and going to a DC extension cable that runs all the way back. And when the DC's turned on, my main power station charges whatever smaller power station I have there. It's just like a 55-21 barrel jack. Most of the small power stations have one of those for up to like 100 watts. And then here is just a USB cable. Same thing, the USB cable comes up, runs along the wall, and powers is a secondary source of power for charging my cell phones and stuff like that over there. So there's just baskets everywhere for the most part. Baskets, food in most of them. Same thing over here. Food, toiletries. It's a small trailer. Fire extinguisher, bear spray, Buddy. I've got my stack of toolboxes back here. It's a fair bit of weight that I'd prefer not to have in here, but working on the trailer, I use my tools all the time. So it's really good to have my power tools. I pretty much standardized on these Harbor Freight Bauer 20 volt tools, and they're doing really, really good for me. So, oh, don't want my sword to come out. Got it hanging on the ceiling there. So, got some magnetic strips up there for anything metal I can hang on them. You know. Here is the fan. So I've got a bag over it right now because I haven't been using it, and it's a point where the hot air can get out, cold air can get in. So I just bagged over it temporarily to keep the air in. I got a small ladder back here for when I need to reach up on the roof. Basically underneath the bed is those 4 there are clothes and stuff. These 4 here are kind of overflow food and stuff. Of course, I've got to have my self-defense So I got my AR hanging on the wall. It's an AR pistol. Various things, some books, electronics, my laptop, tablet, and everything's up there. Lots of stuff for, I got my drone, power cables, lots and lots of cables. When you have lots of power stations, you end up with tons of cables. So like I said, it's kind of a mess in here. So, I don't have a TV or want a TV in here, but if I want a larger screen, I'll use my Fire tablet. Put metal strips on the back, use magnets. This is a cheap folding TV mount from Harbor Freight. Put some neodymium rare earth magnets on there, and you can attach your phones, your tablets, whatever. That's perfectly situated for, like, if I'm laying in bed here, I can watch stuff. Being winter over here, it's been getting down to the mid-20s at night, so I've got a Teton, I forget what model it is. It's their XXL 0-degree bag, and that thing is absolutely amazing. Like, I don't even have to have the heat on in here, and I'm totally toasty in that thing. So, Buddy definitely gets cold. Yeah, he's staring at me. But I'm nice and toasty. I kind of got that little sleeping bag for him that I can kind of drape it over him if it gets a little too cold in here at night. So before, what I did, the propane heater I had, the Mr. Buddy would just sit right there. But like I said, the roof of this thing is just, if I can show you, it's just thin galvanized roofing. So that causes a condensation problem, particularly on this side where I sleep. When I breathe in and out, all the hot air would go straight to the roof, and you'd get tons and tons of water up there. So I have recently switched to a diesel heater. I've had it about, I don't know, a month and a half. I wasn't sure on the whole diesel heater thing, but it's been freaking amazing. So something else I did just the other day, and I don't know how much it's going to help, I got this Reflectix. So the center of this roof has this wood panel. That's from the factory, and I think it's to keep the roof from rattling. But I cut a couple rolls of Reflectix, and there's just enough of a gap here at the roof to push the Reflectix through. So that provides just a little bit of a radiant heat barrier to keep the hot air from touching the skin of the roof directly, or the ceiling directly. So I'm hoping that's going to help with the condensation a little bit. That combined with the diesel heater, I think should fix my problems. So you're never going to get rid of the condensation completely, but I'm fine with that. So, all right, so let's see here. I want to show you the diesel heater. All right, give me a second here. This video on my phone cut off when I was trying to record this the first time, so I don't know how well this is going to go. Hope it doesn't do it again. Get my lock off. Open this back door and show you the diesel heater. Okay. So, you know, I just sleep right up against the back door. So, what I did is I took the baskets out of this rear compartment and put the diesel heater in. So, this is just a Vever 5 kilowatt. They sell them in 5 and 8 kilowatt, but from what I've found, they're basically all 5 kilowatts. The 8 kilowatt rating is BS. They just can't put out, they don't have the specs to put out that much heat. So what I did is the floor in here is, I think it's 3/4 inch plywood. So I just found the proper spot. On these particular models, the air intake, barely see them, but you can see the exhaust comes out directly out the bottom, which is actually ideal for my situation here. So I cut a hole through the plywood, and then let's see if I can show you underneath. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Comes out the hole. That's the fresh air intake, and that's the exhaust pipe. And all I did was screw it to the metal cross member. So So I've got that. It's got like a 1.25 gallon tank. I've got spare diesel here. That's my old Mr. Buddy heater. I've got it here just in case of emergency. And then originally I was powering this off of one of my power stations. I had spliced, the way it comes is this model just comes with bare wires on the 12 volt lead. So I just spliced it to a cigarette plug and was powering it off the power station. Some of these will work that way, some won't. They claim these need 15 amps, 12 volt 15 amps. Some do, some will run on 12 volt 10 amps. This one will just run on 12 volt 10 amp, so which is nice. The most I've ever seen it pull is 130 watts during the like 2 or 3 minutes of startup. Buddy, chill, man. So I've got that as a backup. I built a secondary cable where if my new power source goes out, I can always plug it back into a power station. But what I did, I showed you guys the solar panel cables coming down. Hey, what are you barking at? What are you barking at? So that's those MC4 cables come down and they're screwed to the wall here. They come down and then they're plugged into a small battery. I think the brand is Bateria Power. It's a 12, this particular one is a 12 volt 10 amp battery charger, and it'll handle everything from AGM to lithium iron phosphate. Some won't, but you just got to search around if you want one. It's fairly cheap. It's like 25 bucks. It's only a 10 amp, so the most it can put out is about 120, 130 watts charging, but that's okay because that solar panel up there is a max of 100 watts anyway. So that comes in through the charge controller, and then it goes to a I just bought a Redodo 12 volt. That's a 50 amp hour Life PO4 battery. So the solar panel is constantly trickle charging that. And then I put some foam and stuff in there to help insulate it a little bit because it is getting pretty cold around here. So that just sits in there off of the charger. So it comes in MC4. Other side goes to a SAE 12 volt plug. And then that comes in. So I made a pigtail and attached it to the battery terminals. And then coming off the battery terminals, I have another pigtail here. That one, I can plug that into other things for other ways to charge. I have a, let's see, I think it's back here actually. Where is it? Yeah, there it is. So this charger. So this charger is a 12 volt, 12 volt 10 amp also. But this one runs off of AC. So I can plug this into another power station or my generator. And if I'm not getting enough solar, hey, Bud, come here. Chill out, man. He's a good guard dog, but he doesn't shut up very much. So yeah, secondary charger there. Come on, Bud. Come on. Come on. Oh, come on, buddy bear. Sorry. Oh, traveling with a dog is fun sometimes. Come on, get up in there. Get up in there. Especially one that has a big mouth. You got a big mouth, mister. You got a big mouth. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Did I hit your ear? He's got a sensitive ear. I'm sorry. Lay down, okay? Lay down. Yeah, he's got one ear that gets crud in it all the time, and I think I touched it accidentally. Yeah, you did. Stay there. Come on. Lay down. So yeah, so that's there's a lot of people around. Oh, one thing I love about my dog is no one can come near this trailer without him saying something. No, you're not going to get into there. Go lay down, will ya? Good guard dog. So, yeah, so that's the diesel heater. It runs off that battery, and I get off that 50 amp hour battery if I'm running the diesel heater 4, 5, 6 hours a night. Come on, man. I can get quite a few days out of it. So the diesel heater only pulls about, I run it on low to conserve fuel. It only pulls about 15 watts while it's running. Pulls about 130 for 2 or 3 minutes at startup. But other than that, it's about 15 watts. So that battery lasts quite a long time. So, yeah. So the diesel heater has been a godsend. For those that don't know, diesel heat is much drier than propane heat. Propane, when it burns, it puts off water. And diesel does not. So they're ideal. You'll see a lot of van lifers and people living in their vehicles that are running these diesel heaters. Yeah, it's a bit of a pain because you have to have a 12-volt power source, whereas the propane heater just runs. But you're going to regret it, especially if you're in a moist area. If you're down in, Arizona or something like that, you might be able to get away with propane. Propane's also more dangerous. You got an open flame, got to keep stuff away from the front of it. This thing just blows hot air out the port. There's no open flame. So, yeah, so that's pretty much it for the trailer. Storage there, solar panels on top. Oh, for the solar panels, I forgot to say, same thing as this rack here. I want to go on the cheap. I could have spent, $200 on a rack. Didn't want to. Same thing up here. I could have bought a roof rack, and I looked at a lot of roof racks, but a lot of them sit, 6 to 8 inches off the roof. They raise up a bit, and then you got to set the solar panels on them. And I wanted to maintain fairly low clearance. So let me see if I can get up on the toolbox. All right, 1 second here. Watch me fall down. Okay. Yeah, here we go. So here's the solar panels. What I did was, you can see on the side over here, I drilled holes along this ridge. So this upper 90-degree corner of the roof is it's straight angle iron. So when you drill through there, you're drilling through a nice solid piece of steel. And you can access the inside of this channel from inside. So I drilled a hole, got lag bolts through. They're bolted. I bought these 90-degree pieces at Home Depot. They were cheap, like $3 a piece. And then, so it's bolted through. And then I used, this is what's called super strut. So if you look at it, so I bought some of this super strut. And I've got 2 going right to left across the trailer. And then I've got 2 more that come in front to back to actually hold the solar panels. So, like I said, 3 200-watt solar panels and 100-watt at the back. I got a little bit of room on this side if I wanted to put something else. I think what I'm going to do, since this super strut is on... It's not up on edge. It'd be more rigid if it was up on edge. It flexes a little bit, but hadn't been a big deal at all. The rack's been totally fine at highway speed. All the cables and everything just rest underneath there. So I do need to add 1 more of these cross members right in the middle. So I'm just going to add a little bit more rigidity there. So the total weight of all 4 of these solar panels is probably... they're probably 25 pounds a piece, so you're probably talking 100 pounds up here, which isn't too much. So yeah, I'm going to add 1 more there just for rigidity. But this whole rack is spending hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars. I've probably got $100 in this rack. A 10-foot chunk of super strut is like $30. I think I used 2 chunks plus some bolts and those 90-degree brackets and some basic galvanized hardware to hold the solar panels down. So yeah, it works pretty good. Now I'm gonna fall getting down. Ah, there we go. So yeah, that's it. I didn't really mean for this video to go so long, but just takes that long to show you. So I really like this thing. Yeah, it's cluttered inside. It doesn't have the amenities that some fancy trailer like that does, but I can customize it exactly the way I want. As far as cost, like I said, I paid, let's just call it $4,500 for the trailer, and with everything, not my personal possessions, but toolbox, propane, solar panels, mounts, that stuff, my power stations, the batteries, the diesel heater, all the baskets and everything to outfit the inside of the trailer. There's probably another $2,000 there. So, because the solar panels, that's about, oh, I don't know, $500 in solar panels. The power station was about $600. The diesel heater was $100. The battery's $100. You know, so 45, 55, 6,500 bucks total in this thing. And it's built way better than these other trailers. Nothing leaks. It's the way I want it. And it's light enough to not have to license it in Oregon, and to be able to pull with this Grand Caravan. So yeah, I love it. Like I said, I'm going to be over here working for probably the next year. It's going to take me about 6 months to completely pay off my bills. That was just extra money I incurred building the cabin. So, you know, this channel is called Occidental Nomad, and I started it for all my travels and stuff. And then, now we switched to building a cabin. He's not a nomad anymore. And we'll go back to that. But right now, I'm back to being a nomad. So I'm enjoying it. Thank you for watching the video. If you stop by, I'll try to get some links below for a few of the items that I have inside. They're kind of specific to my build, my no-build build, but if you want to check the stuff out and see how it works, yeah, I'll try and throw that down there. All right, thanks for watching. Like, share, and subscribe if you can. Don't really have many followers right now, but that's going to help me. I want to try and build the channel up, and there's going to be a lot of content both back and forth between the cabin and the trailer and where I go. I'm also going to do a series. I'm not a cook, but when you live like this, you learn how to eat cheaply and easily. So I'm going to do a series on some, like, you know, meal hacks and cheap meals and stuff that I have, and, you know, ways I use to cook out here, including the power sources and stuff like that. So, all right, thank you. See you guys on the next video.